This week's Torah portion has one of the most interesting characters in Torah. His name is Pinchas. Let me give you a story of what we're up to. Context. Jewish people on their way to Canaan, on their way to Israel. Balak was the king of Moab. Remember last week? Sees them coming, gets nervous. Enlists Bilam. Help me. Curse them. Bilam tries, doesn't work. Bilam tells Balak, if you can't beat them directly, you got to go to the back door. How is that? Get them to sin. They're at a spiritually high level. That spirituality is pristine. It is giving them certain levels of protection. They're unstoppable. They're indestructible. But when they sin, the spiritual power will lessen. Seduce them. And that's what they did. The Moabites send in their daughters, seduce the Jewish men. A plague broke out. At that level, to engage in illicit behavior, created a spiritual breakage, and a plague broke out, and no one knew what to do. It got to a point in which one of the princes was involved. They led the men to idol worship. It was no one knew what was going on. It was a disaster. There was a man named Pinchas, saw this, jumped in, killed the prince, stopped the plague, saved the Jewish people. God rewarded Pinchas. And he gave him this week's Torah portion as Brisi Shalom. He gave him the pin, if you will, the covenant of peace. And the questions that people ask is, wait, what? Why that covenant for? Right? The Navy SEAL that goes into Afghanistan and kills the top operative of the enemy, he doesn't come back and get a covenant of peace. He gets a Purple Heart. There are other things that he expresses: bravery, courage, initiative, resilience, not peace. When the Mossad agent comes back after killing the top operative in Tehran, he doesn't get rewarded with the covenant of peace. Let's call it what it is. He killed somebody. Like he jumped in and killed somebody. You can give him an award, but I don't know if peace would be. I don't think he gets the Nobel Peace Prize for that. So what's with the covenant of peace? So there's a great commentator named the Ha'emek Davar, and he gives over a brilliant insight. Listen to this. Anytime you do something in life, even if it's justified, that thing leaves an impression. We know this because the way our mind works is neuroplastic, which means whenever you do something, it adapts. It creates connections. So when you do something, even if the thing you do is justified, it impacts you because you did it, which makes it easier next time and easier next time. And you keep on doing it, you'll just always be doing it. A lot of times in life, when you see people that are engaged in certain behaviors, and you go to the beginning of those behaviors, they're either justified or they're unjustified in a very small little way. They're banal. There's a lot of people who stole a lot of money. When they first started, they just needed to cover a couple of things. And then cover a couple of things again. It was banal. What's the difference? Until it became what they did. There are people that do things that are justified. They reprimand a child. Justified. The kid's 2 running into a street. But they keep on reprimanding. And now the kid's 16 and he can't stand anybody. The way they talk, the way they act, what they do. In the beginning, if you go to the beginning of the behavior, it was either insignificant or it was okay. But as that behavior continues, it becomes who they are. And they wake up in the morning and they don't know how they got here. There are behaviors that me and you have that if you take them back to the beginning, when we first started them, they were innocuous or they were justified. But we never stopped at that level. We just kept on going. We kept on indulging. We kept on pushing the envelope. We kept on leaning into the bad behavior. Pinchas was not looking to get into a fight. He was a regular dude. He was a holy man. I shouldn't say regular dude. I'm just using my language. He was a holy man. He saw a problem. He was a man of peace. But he needed to take care of this, and so he did it for the right reasons. But God said, I'm giving you the covenant of peace because the Emek Davar says, I don't want you to get into this way of being. I want you to get into peace. Because you just killed somebody. That's impressionable. it's going to get easier, so to speak. You're going to be more enticed, so to speak, to do these things. And even if they're justified, this is what's going to become you. So I'm stopping it now. I'm giving you a covenant of peace so that you can go back, so that this action doesn't leave a lasting impression on you, that you are a man of peace. And it's an important insight for me and you that there are many behaviors that we have that are just extensions of something that was okay, but we just never stopped. We never reversed it. We never looked at it again. And we never had that moment to say, that was justified then, but no longer. How I speak to him or her doesn't work anymore. I've been doing this thing, I'm not getting results. I'm acting this way, and maybe when I started it was okay, but now it's not okay anymore. Now it's dangerous. Now it's hurting me. Now it's hurting my family. When I did this the first time, like, okay, now it's a problem. It's not right. It's not legal. We have behaviors that we started that were justified or okay, or not okay. And we never stopped them. In this week's Torah portion, God says, I'm stopping it, Pinchas. I'm giving you a gift. Stop it. Peace. But it leaves us asking, what behaviors do we have that we need to stop? Because they just were continuations of something that was okay. It's not okay anymore. And in hindsight, now where we are, we realize that it's the best thing to not only not do it, but maybe even to reverse it.